and time and bandwidth. So for that, QoS is very important to avoid the jitter that is a very bad for the network.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sir, then the next is what are the key factors like while considering the different types of traffic in the QoS?
So we have to divide the traffic in different classes. So there is a classification. There is a first thing, that is you have to divide the traffic into different classes like voice, video, and data. And
Hmm.
according to that, you have to prioritize the traffic. So
Okay,
those are the factors that you have to divide the traffic wisely according to your network performance and requirement.
okay. So, sir, are there any challenges or something in implementing the QoS in a network?
Uh, Challenges means that yes, you have to prioritize the traffic according to the situation, and you have
Okay,
to maintain a queuing. Like there are different types of queuing. Somewhere you have to give a minimum bandwidth to different traffics. Say a certain amount of bandwidth you have to give to voice traffic or video traffic or data traffic, that we say as class-based weighted fair queue. You have to divide the different traffics in different classes, and you have to assign bandwidth. So if you do not do it that according to the requirement and bandwidth, then it will
okay,
result that too much traffic will one traffic will take too much bandwidth. So that is a challenge.
okay. Thank you so much, sir, for providing these valuable insights for our audience. And sir, how does QoS ensure reliable communication for real-time voice over IP and video conferencing? That does it help
Yes.
in this?
Yes, voice
Yeah.
traffic is very important for QoS, that is VoIP, voice over IP,
Okay.
and voice is given the highest priority, the EF5, that marking
Hmm.
that we actually give in the QoS, that is expedite forwarding and
Okay.
assured forwarding. These are the values that you mark those traffics for the voice traffic. And for voice traffic, we have to make priority queuing. You have different queuing, and some is class based weighted fair queuing, where you have to allocate
Hmm.
minimum amount of bandwidth, minimum threshold, and maximum threshold for traffic. But in case of voice traffic, because it's a very resource intensive traffic, we
Yeah.
implement that is priority queuing, that is low latency queuing. It is always given the priority.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Could you please explain like the difference between the traffic shaping and the traffic policing in the QoS?
Yes, sure. Means
Yeah.
shaping is a bit lenient policy. Say if you are having jitter, say
Okay.
uneven
Hmm.
delay, then
Hmm.
shaping, say it says the traffic to wait for some time. Say if you are
Okay.
having a voice traffic and video traffic, and
Hmm.
it will ask the traffic to wait for some time, but it will not discard the traffic. But in case
Okay.
of policing, it is a very restrictive policy. Even
Hmm.
if the voice traffic is coming, which is having the low latency queuing at the priority, highest priority, but if there is congestion, it actually can discard the entire traffic. That is, it is very restricted.
Okay, sir. Okay. Uh, so the next question is, what are the some common QoS metrics used to measure the network performance and the user satisfaction?
Yes, you actually do first is classification. You
Hmm.
classify the traffic in three phases: voice, video, data. You have to first
Hmm.
say analyze that where how the congestion is happening. Why?
Hmm.
If there is jitter, the main thing
Hmm.
is jitter, then uneven delay. Say for example, if you are pinging a certain resource, say your router, and your response is coming in even time delay, so there is delay. There is
Hmm.
no requirement for QoS policy. But if the
Okay.
jitter is there, uneven
Hmm.
delay is there, so that
Hmm.
is the parameter that
Hmm.
yes, QoS policy needs to be implemented. So after that, you have to use the marking, and Cisco
Okay.
uses NBR, network-based application recognition, to actually mark the traffic. So you have to mark with different values. There are different parameters like the
Hmm.
COS, class of service, and IP
Okay.
precedence, DHCP marking. So these are the parameters that you have to implement there.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Sir, but if we want to suppose prioritize some different types of traffic in QoS, so what are the key factors we should consider before prioritizing these practices?
Yes, these are the important. You have to just recognize the important traffics. Say, for
Hmm.
example, you have to understand which traffic is actually taking more bandwidth. And if the
Okay.
traffic is taking more bandwidth, then you have to go for the priority queuing, like the voice traffic that I was talking. And other
Hmm.
traffics, you can go for class-based weighted fair queue. Because
Hmm.
say there is another technology like WRED and weighted random early detection. So that if that is implemented, then it will discard any traffic. So you have to be very wise and you have to see the importance. And
Hmm.
then there is some policy, there is some
Okay.
say an organization policy implementing that
Hmm.
which traffic is implemented. Say a teleconference is going on, so that
Yeah,
traffic
right.
is important. So these are the factors you have to take into an account.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay. So, sir, are there any specific QoS considerations for data centers or cloud networks?
Yes, definitely. Data centers and cloud networks, they are dealing with huge traffic, say
Hmm.
PB or TB or EB traffic. So that is a huge consideration for data center networks. You have to implement QoS. For that, they have built the automation. Actually,
Hmm.
nowadays, QoS is not manual because in
Hmm.
data center, you have tens of thousands of devices running.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
how
Yeah.
do you prioritize those devices? So in that case, you have to make automation, the scripting. So nowadays we go for automation. You have that DNA center and all the
Hmm.
controllers are there so that you can make scripting and you can automate the QS process because there also you have to build the queuing, you have to do the marking, the same thing. But data
Hmm.
center is a huge network, so you have to do it very professional manners. For that, automation is the only solution.
Okay, sir. So, sir, as you said, we have queuing algorithms used in the QoS network. So, could you please provide some examples on it, like for our
Yes.
audience? Yeah.
In case of queuing algorithm, you have like in scheduling the networks. So in the
Hmm.
router scheduler, the traffic waits for its turn to enter the router interface, and you have that I've already told you that previously, it was weighted fair queue only. That all traffics will be given a minimum threshold amount. So within that minimum threshold, the traffic will not be discarded. Say the minimum
Okay.
threshold is 20%.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
within that limit, if the traffic comes, not nothing, no traffic will be discarded. And
Okay.
then there is a maximum threshold, say beyond 20 to
20.
50%. Say there
Hmm.
is a high probability that the traffic will be discarded. So
Discarded.
you have to
Okay.
make these thresholds there. And then came
Hmm.
class-based weighted fair queue. So
Okay.
then we prioritize or we gave the amount of minimum bandwidth according to different classes, that is voice, video, and data. And
Okay.
so these traffics were given the minimum amount of bandwidth that with that it can enter the router interface.
Okay,
And
sir.
then there is something known as low latency queuing, like
Hmm.
priority queuing that I was talking. The low latency means that the traffic will wait for a very low amount of time.
Hmm.
Means the voice traffic or VoIP traffic that was I was talking about in data center or in a VIP environment. So that traffic cannot be waited for a long time. Say a teleconference or this meeting, any web meeting is going on. So there
Hmm.
you have to implement the weighted low latency queuing, and you
Okay.
have to just suppress the WRED because you cannot just let the voice traffic be dropped. So these are the main two methods. One more was there, that is round robin scheduling,
Okay.
where
Hmm.
the traffic randomly given the priority
Hmm.
according to the traffic importance. But in that case, the problem was that sometimes the voice was given the higher priority, sometimes the
Hmm.
data was given the higher priority. So it was not fixed. So I think CBWFQ is the best one.
Okay, okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for providing these valuable examples for our audience. And sir, one more question I have from our audience is that what is the role of QoS in cybersecurity? Like how it helps to gather the information or how it improves the cybersecurity? Are there any they are correlated?
Yes, it may be definitely correlated because in networking and
Hmm.
cybersecurity is definitely related. So in
Hmm.
cybersecurity, also you can say that if too much traffic is
Hmm.
coming, somebody is doing some DDoS attack or something, huge
Hmm.
traffic is coming
Hmm.
onto a server. So in that
Okay.
case, QoS policy can be implemented because we have to save our precious network and servers. So
Hmm.
if somebody is attacking our server, pouring some huge traffic, so in that case, the QoS policy should be implemented, should be queued in such a way that on one server, this the
Hmm.
load balancers can be there, but you have to implement the QoS also with the load balancers to actually distribute the traffic or channelize or queuing the traffic. So definitely in cybersecurity also we can see
Hmm.
that QoS is very much there.
Okay, okay, sir. Thank you. Sir, we have one more question in the comments. It's like how network traffic such as bots, zombies can be avoided on a website or a server.
Can you just repeat?
Sir, it's, network traffic such as bots or zombies, if they have been attacked, how to avoid them on the website or a server?
See,
Like
these
does
QoS, yes,
hmm,
actually QoS is not for preventing any such direct attack like in
okay,
bots or all these things, but we can
okay,
actually schedule the traffic, but
okay,
we actually cannot attack, prevent those attacks with QoS because it is not a security tool, but it is
okay,
actually a tool to regularize the traffic. But yes, if somebody is attacking with those things, so we can actually prevent our network from just bombarding with all those traffic, so that we can do.
okay, 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 sir, okay. And sir, how do emerging technologies such as software defined networking (SDN) impact the QoS?
Yes, definitely, because
Yeah.
I've
Hmm.
already told you about the automation, and this
Hmm.
automation is directly related to SDN, the software
Okay.
defined networking, and the
Hmm.
software defined access, and the software defined WAN, SD-WAN. So all the controllers, it may be the DNS center in the underlay, and in the overlay, it can be the ACI, application setting
Apple.
infrastructure, and the ASIC
Okay.
controllers. So all these controllers, they are very much related to this automation, and the every SDN is totally related to this QoS. So if I am talking about the automation, the scripting,
Hmm.
everything is related to the SDN. That is the
Hmm.
core of the automation.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay. So, sir, what is a future of like QoS and CCN networking? Like how this technology is now advancing in the future. If suppose someone wants to enroll in our CCNA program, so what is the scope of it? Like, if you could explain.
Especially because in CCNA we see that more high-end routers and switches are coming up. So
Okay.
these router switches, they are actually dealing with more traffic, and our bandwidth of our network is also increasing. So the
Okay.
volume of traffic in each data center is going
Hmm.
up. Today
Hmm.
now we are talking about the Nexus switches and
Yeah.
ASR, ISR routers and cloud routers and
Hmm.
automation routers. So every traffic is actually going tenfold. So traffic is actually increasing. So in that
Increasing. Yeah.
case, definitely QoS policy should be implemented, and it is happening more than ever. So in
Okay.
CCNA, CCNP, whatever in networking, even in cloud also, we see
Hmm.
data center. QoS is an emerging technology, and it
Hmm.
will evolve more.
More. Okay. So, okay. So, sir, with the increasing traffic, there will be also some security challenges also in implementing these in the future. I hope.
Yes, definitely,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
will be there. Definitely, we have to
Yeah.
implement stringent security policies also for
Okay.
preventing the attacks that I was talking about, the DOS attack or something.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay. Sir, okay. I think though we don't have more questions on it, and so, sir, thank you for providing the valuable insights on the QoS in networking, and uh, so, sir, I thank you so much for joining us in this live Q&A session.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Okay. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us this live Q&A session, and we are also coming up with our CCNA workshop. So I request if anyone is interested in joining our CCNA, could contact us. So thank you all for joining.